Hello everyone, my name is Owain and this is my brother
There
on the Thomas Brothers channel, and today we're here to talk about our journey to Warhammer World Nottingham.
Yes, this month was both of our birthdays in January, so as a joint celebration we went over to Nottingham to the Warhammer HQ to see the exhibitions, to have a battle, a fight, to see like Bugman's Bar, and to see all the other things there that we've never seen before. So, what should we start with first?
I think we can talk about the entrance first.
Yeah.
You get there and it's this really, wide building for starters, and you've got the Rhino tank.
Yeah, the transport vehicle, yeah?
Yeah, literally, basically right next to the door, and you've got this massive statue of a space marine there. And on there was like a plaque of like the Emperor talking about the space marines and stuff.
Yeah, and what they really mean.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool. Then you walk in there, and you've got this massive sort of, these 4 dioramas, I think it was.
Yeah, it was about 4, something like that. There could have been more possibly. There was so much to take in because you're so overwhelmed by what you see when you go in there. Between the statues and the dioramas to the cabinets to even the history as well, like how you learn about how it sort of first started off, actually, Warhammer, back in 1975.
Yes,
I think it was. Right. It was definitely in that sort of period. There's a lot of information to take in, by the way. But it was cool, like some like the early on type of stuff that they were getting up to back then, and like creating like the space and stuff and their names. I saw a massive statue of Titus in the main like sort of foyer area, the entrance. And by the way, as we're saying this now, or as am I saying this now? Any photos we did take there, we're going to keep in like a separate video and short for you guys to see later on. Otherwise, it might just take up quite a lot on this video already. So, yeah, there was a lot to see there. The dioramas, there was so many and they were so massive. I mean, I think every time we saw one, you thought, okay, how could it possibly... You can't really get any bigger than this.
Yeah, and then they top it and set an even higher standard for them.
Yeah, I mean, I did like that one we saw at the beginning where it was the Tyranids from High Fleet Behemoth.
Yes.
Going against the Space Wolves.
That was really cool. The amount of Tyranid models they fit on there. I mean, obviously, it wasn't the most they fit on there, as we'll talk about later with the even bigger one. But it was a lot. And you had, like, them jumping off into the river and stuff and climbing on. It was really cool.
Yeah. You also, like, what I liked about it is, like, the effects that they can use for, like, snow, smoke, and like flamethrowers.
Yeah,
you saw
explosions.
Like a salamander one sort of thing, I think, later on, where they used like the flamethrowers, and you had like these cool effects showing their weaponry being used, which I thought was quite cool. So yeah, you had the dioramas, you had the cabinet. There was obviously some souvenirs there. There's also some like beanies and stuff and scarves. Yeah, you've also got that. The pamphlets showing basically the entire route. Also, by the way, shout out to all the staff there. They were really helpful, very kind.
They were very nice.
I can't fault them whatsoever. They were really helpful.
No.
And top on everything. They were really, really nice and helpful. So if you ever do go there, definitely ask them for any questions, any advice, hints and tips, even some of the law maybe. And they'll sure to help you out. And even just the general public, like on all the tables, they were very nice.
Yeah.
When you go into the...
massive arena.
Yeah, in the arena upstairs, just talking to people and asking them, how long did it take to paint certain things, what inspired them to choose that faction. No, it was really, really, really cool. There's definitely several floors to it.
Yes, like the first floor you go to after that main hall area is like a shop, so you have all the different books and models and all that you can see there. They even had the best-selling books there. Number 1 was, I think, was Infinite and the Divine.
Yeah, I've only just recently... my goal was to read that before going there as well, by Robert Rath, and that was a really good book to read. Highly recommend that book to any big Warhammer fan, especially if you're a Necron fan. That's a really good book to read. But yeah, it was definitely one of the top-selling books that they had. But you had the whole black library of books that they were selling there. So I am meant to be going to my next book soon, Twice Dead King.
Oh, yeah.
That's the next one on my agenda. But yeah, no, you had even a cabinet of the newer models that they have just recently created.
Like the Nightbringer and Amantar.
Amantar, yeah. And I think you had Chaos Squad as well.
Titus.
Titus as well from the 500 Worlds. So like kind of showing you what is like recently come out specifically for that. Shop was massive. Like you had like massive bays dedicated to each faction, and if you've never seen it in like either just Warhammer shops or some other shops, they'll just have had it there. So we've even seen some of the bigger ones that we've never seen before,
like the Hierophant and the Harridan and the Canoptic Heavy Construct and the Tesseract Vault. Those are like the big ones
for us. Now, obviously, there were loads of others. There was Space Marine ones. There was Adaptosaurus. There was Orcs. So there was obviously all the factions were there. Obviously, we don't know them as much as we do our own factions, and they probably do have their own like their big, massive weaponry that they use on people. But no, it was cool just seeing them there. You had all the cabinets, the kit bashed ones as well, like one color schemes. I think what was cool about seeing, because there was 4 exhibition areas there that like they were massive, but what was cool about them is that they weren't just painted for certain chapters or certain factions or dynasties or fleets. Some of them were kit bashed as well. Like remember we saw those Tyranid ones, they were like a green, like poisonous, bright green, pinky.
Yeah, and they also had a non-emissary with the rupture cannon of a Tyrannofax and the arms of an Exocrine.
Yes.
Which was really weird combination.
I thought it was cool though, and stuff. To be fair. I thought, I think that's the cool thing about kit bashing. You just use your sort of imagination to create your own type of unit that you want to make. And I think one day we saw one of, well, you've already started doing that now, haven't you, anyways, technically, haven't you?
A little, since I made my own winged hive tyrant.
Yeah, so you've already started it. I do want to do that one day to try and start, creating some stuff. And just, really, you get so many spare parts sometimes with boxes you buy from certain ways you want to build a model. You keep the spares, you could use them later on down the line to create something else.
If nothing else, then just to decorate the bases.
Yeah, as if they've killed something.
Yeah.
The exhibitions are one after one after one. It wasn't even 40k. You had Lord of the Rings stuff there. You also had, obviously, Age of Sigmar and Horus Heresy there. Massive titans. I never realised they went that big.
Yeah.
You also... There was particular one I did, like, I think it might have been Age of Sigmar. I'm not too sure. That Necropolis one, where...
The massive, like, castle, all the bones and
stuff.
stuff.
That's the one.
Yeah, I really liked that one.
Because you even had, like, what they showed is the glass case was pretty much human height. But what was cool is looking down, you saw like this tomb necropolis was all dark with green lights. You could see all the troops amassing, marching up the stairs. I thought that was really cool. The bone dragons flying with like the invisible clear through see-through strings that we saw to give that effect of them flying. There was this one display cabinet I know you really liked that showed all the Tyranids pretty much. Like 2 Hierophants, one was dead on the floor, one was still active. The Swarm Lord in the middle on the bridge, and the Harridan at the top. With
there was you had like loads of Tyranids just crawling on top of each other on that bridge trying to get to the Black Templar, and non-emissary, and he just made the Swarm Lord look small in the middle of it, and yet he's the guy that's leading all of them, since he's like their leader. Which is kind of funny.
And honestly, right, and I think we're going to be talking about this in bit because we haven't even reached the end. This was like one of the first 2 rooms. There's 4 altogether. Yeah. I think it just goes to show how much dedication that they have to the art of it all, because each one of these models have to be painted individually and then placed in a specific way to make it, look really epic. I mean, some of these dioramas, they look like an aisle. You could like walk through a canyon, literally a human height, and you could see all the battle and the bridges right next to you and stuff. I thought it was really cool. And the terrain as well,
Yeah.
The actual castles or the catacombs or the canyons, it was just all amazing. This did bring us up to our 3rd room, which was kind of fun because we actually got told at the desk if we could find one of the assassins.
The Imperial
in this particular
assassins.
one. Now, this next room was massive, and since it was just one diorama, but apparently reading the text above as you go into this room, it took them 9 months and 10 staff to work on this.
I honestly would have thought it would have taken them like a year, 2 years to make it because of how big it was.
Yeah, it literally, you needed stairs to complement like the sheer size. It's actually the biggest one they've ever done.
Yeah.
And it literally looked like what was it? Was it the Horus Heresy?
No, I think
No,
it
it
was
Chaos, wasn't it? I just don't know which faction.
something like World Eaters versus Ultramarines.
I was going off by the massive titans that you see that I'm just like,
Yeah.
such a mad.
They were like, so you had like a drop pod crashing into one of the titans. You had all the demons crawling on top of each other to make a bridge. And I was like, hey, is that a Space Marine 2 reference? And then you had Calgar fighting like a demon prince or something on top of the massive like church. Oh my god,
I think we were on the top of the stairs. You go into this room at the top height of like this level. You have to work your way down to where all the actual battlefield and all this stuff. But everything you see, there's canyons, there's layers on top of layers of buildings and floors, and each one having some kind of unique battle in each building. You know, whether it's like Terminators versus a world bearer like Dreadnought or something like that.
It's like every single figure told its own story.
Yeah. And somehow in the middle of all this, you're meant to find an assassin.
Yeah.
And if you do, I think they said you come away with like a free assassin for you to paint and decorate your own way. But you've got to find it somehow in all that.
No one's found it in like 190 days or something like that.
Was it?
I think it was something like that.
There's also a cool display cabinet that showed like a chainsaw and stuff as well. Wasn't
there
I thought that was cool. And then
I would not like to be the guy that had to clean that exhibit though.
No. Oh my god, no, I don't know if they clean it, if they do, I imagine they do, but what a time period, every couple of months to try and dust everything down, because God almighty, it'd be a pain. But then there was the fourth exhibition area where we saw more dioramas of the Tau.
Yes.
The Cadians all marching on parade.
Yes, Necrons versus Blood Angels and Black Templar.
I did like that one, obviously, because I'm a Necron person. I like the architecture. I like what they did with the portal. Well, actually, you brought that up, didn't you? The portal of them coming out from the tombs themselves.
And Overlord had 10 Lich Guard with them.
And there was one cabinet where I had to definitely take quite a few photos of. It was a lot of Necrons inspired by other dynasties, so Nihilak, Sortex, Sarkhan dynasties. And I think they had pretty much nearly one of everything, and even Anarchia, the Traveller in there.
Yes,
it was quite a unique, rare one to paint. You had Sarek, you had Seraz,
the Tesseract Vault.
That was I'm not gonna lie, putting it out there right now. I never knew the Tesseract Vault was that big. I thought the Monolith was bigger than that.
I knew it was bigger than the Monolith, but I didn't know it was that big.
It was really, I never knew it was that wide. I think it's because it extends out. I just did not expect it to be that wide before. That would be insane to have on the battlefield.
Take up most of it, honestly. Take up a quarter.
I think it's 425 points in value. So it's actually slightly stronger than the Monolith. I'll have to read up on that later on, actually. But no, I loved seeing that and taking photos of it all, because I definitely wanted to see all the paint schemes and jobs I could be inspired by. And I know you probably did the same with the Tyranids, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, they only had two. They had Leviathan and Behemoth, but those are still really cool to look at as well.
Well, so you had the kit bashed ones.
Yes, you had the kit bashed
ones. Just more so ideas. There was even some Necrons that were what was they called? The Copper something, the Coppercrons.
Oh yeah.
The Arquette dynasty, and they were literally a copper color with blue energy.
Yeah.
And even had white ones with pink energy, and in the Tyranids you had a green poisony effect.
Yes.
You had the blue one that you saw.
The orange ones from the original 3rd edition or something, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. Even saw old early on models from years and years and years ago from old editions, say before, we even saw a cabinet that had Orokin and Trazen that were painted and decorated by Robert Rath, the author of The Infant and the Divine, which I thought was quite cool. But they were the older models as well, so that was really cool. So yeah, we looked at all the exhibitions, thoroughly enjoyed that, but next thing we knew, as soon as that was done, it was time for us to go to the events hall and actually, have a battle.
Yes, and the event hall was massive, and the amount of tables they had there was unique sort of terrain and stuff was really. They had a hive city there, which was really cool to look at, and
it was packed. It wasn't packed, but there was definitely a lot of people there. And the thing is, we're in January, Christmas and all that's done and dusted. It's a Thursday, so it's a weekday. And, you know, it was lunchtime. So we didn't actually know how many people were going to be there, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, it's the first time we've ever done something like this, you know, actually go to another, like, event place to have a battle, you know. So we didn't really know what to expect. But, you know, when we got there and we saw all these people playing already, and we're like, wow, okay, more than we thought. So, yeah, we got our table. Cool, like an Adeptus Sororitas type thing, like all churches and ruined, decrepit buildings that were falling apart. I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had our battle. That was really cool. Like, actually, I think what was cool about it is that you could actually place them inside the buildings and see them like going out the windows as if it was an actual battle, and like, you know, like my Deathmark trying to snipe something from a distance. So your wing Tyranid flying to the top of a building.
Yeah, trying to get a vantage point and then just getting absolutely annihilated by a Luke's heavy destroyers.
Yeah, well, they were a threat. They kept trying to snipe my troops away. That's why. But no, that was really cool. And thoroughly enjoyed that. And the thing is, the restaurant Bugman's Bar wasn't that far away. So if you wanted to like get a drink real quick, it was literally like next door, just further down, you know, and you could just quickly, you know, get a drink and, you know, could just drink it in the hall. Yeah. Obviously the battles take a long time. And, you know, we were going around loads of people, talking to them.
Yeah.
You know, for me personally, talking to another guy who had like a set of heavy construct and seeing the real scale of that thing was actually enormous. And he did that in Nidalak, didn't he? Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Did you speak to any like Tyranid player? I don't know. I think there were some Tyranid players.
There were some, but I didn't talk to them. There was one guy that was like 3 people playing Tyranid versus 3 other people who were playing Astra Militarum, Necrons, and then Titans. To which the Titan guy only had 1 Titan, which is, you know, a bit sad because that's how powerful just 1 Titan is.
Yeah, I think I saw that one from a distance, but I know you got a closer look at that one.
Yeah, and someone else was also playing Necrons versus... There's actually quite a few people playing Necrons versus Tyranids there.
Because we're a cool faction, that's why. Saying now, there was quite a few people playing Tyranid as well. You say there was 3 players playing Tyranids alone.
Yeah.
I definitely remember seeing some on the other tables.
Yeah, there was another person that had a fly runt, but they weren't actually flying. They were on the ground, but they had the wings, which was really interesting thing.
This is why, I mean, you can get inspired by other people and just see like the different ways you can either build or paint them. I mean, they did open up one table, didn't they, for painting alone?
Yes, they did.
And the thing is, in the shop area where you just go upstairs, there's a little painting, how to learn how to paint area for free and all that business. They can give you the tips and tricks to, like, you know, paint however you want to, like edge highlighting, washing down stuff, you name it. But yeah, the staff were really helpful. You just can't fault them. We went to Bugman's Bar later on, had some food, you know, a couple of
That was really nice. Didn't expect how nice Bugman's Bar would actually be.
Yeah, because the event hall and Bugman's Bar like themed around things, like the events hall like a castle area.
Yeah.
You know, the walls like had like blocks and stuff and bricks, like making you feel like you're inside like a massive hallway inside a castle. And Bugman's Bar, you know, like a cozy like hearth fire in the background there with swords and axes and even artwork in the background and stuff. An orc's head with a throne. Saw the display cabinets. The food was really nice.
Yes, it was.
Really enjoyed that. In fact, I was absolutely stuffed coming away from there. And as much as we did want to, obviously that was actually how we ended the day, because we thought we'd finish up by having a meal in the evening.
Yes.
And that was it. But honestly, would obviously love to go back there again one day. Don't know when. Because it was definitely, I think it took us about 4-ish hours.
Yeah, something like that.
But no, definitely would like to go back there next time. I think because this was our first like event area to go to do a battle and see like other people, we know better next time to plan out these things.
Yeah, and the amount of points that we bring, especially for something like that. Because the boards...
Yes, actually that brings up to another funny story, because when we got there, our table was reserved, but we only brought 1,000 points each.
Yes.
And the table, we looked at all these tables and quite daunted by them because of the sheer size. I mean, we've never seen sizes like that before. And they were really wide. We asked the guy at the desk and said, you know, this was our table. We looked at it and we thought, oh my God, it'll take us like 2 or 3 rounds just to meet each other in the middle, let alone do any fighting. So we told him, you know, how many points we had. He said, all right, okay, I got the perfect table for you then. And took us to that one. He said, oh, that's ideal. That was fantastic. I like that. So again, that's what I mean, that the staff were really helpful. You know, they're very chill, laid back, you know, and they love the job. What's amazing about it, they're passionate about it, which I really do like. So yeah, I enjoyed the experience. I would definitely go back there again.
Yeah, it was really fun getting to see all the dioramas and the setup for all the tables. It was just really cool to look and take in everything on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't think of anything else to add, can you?
No, I don't think so.
Again, we will be posting the, like, photos and stuff like that on a separate video / short. We just don't want to, like, drown out this video as much as it was, because it's already 20 minutes now into it. So, yeah, we'll keep them in a separate video for you guys to see the experiences there and what you might see there. Because, again, they may change. I don't know when they change these exhibits or display cabinets and stuff like that. You know, they could change next time, you know, we go. There probably would be, actually. Or they'll probably keep some stuff, you know, back.
Yeah.
They even did, actually, it was cool as well. They had, like, a list on a board of, like, painting contest winners from, like, around the world.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, you know, going up the stairs when we went to the exhibition area.
Oh,
It was
no,
like
I
on
didn't
this, like,
see
wooden
that.
plaque from, like, previous winners to painting competitions, I think.
Oh, that's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, so I like that. Again, the history of it as well, you know, how it started for a bunch of friends and how it's sort of blown out of proportion today to where it is now, I think is fantastic. So, yeah, really, really happy with what happened.
Yeah.
There. What about you?
I was really happy with it all.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
In that case, that is going to be it from me, Dewi, and my brother.
Oh,
And we will catch you all in the next video. Bye-bye.